19 years ago. 19 years ago, man. Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone. Cause right now it says that we can't come to the phone. And I know it makes no sense, cause you walked out the door, and it's the only way I hear your voice anymore. It's ridiculous, it's been months. For some reason I just can't get over us, and I'm stronger than this. Enough is enough. No more walking around with my head down. I'm so over being blue, crying over you. And I'm so sick of love songs, so tired of tears, so done with wishing you were still here. And I'm so sick of love songs, so sad and slow. So why can't I turn off the radio?
The night was expected to follow a familiar rhythm, with bright lights sweeping across the desert sky, crowds moving in waves to the beat, and a stage designed to deliver unforgettable spectacle. Yet somewhere in the middle of that carefully orchestrated chaos, a small and unexpected moment began to take shape, one that would quietly evolve into one of the most talked about stories of Coachella 2026. As a short and slightly unsteady phone clip started making its way across the internet, first passed between a few viewers, then spreading rapidly as more people began to notice a detail that seemed almost too coincidental to ignore: a figure in the crowd, partially hidden, visible for only a few seconds, yet familiar enough to spark immediate speculation, with many viewers insisting that the person captured in that fleeting moment was Selena Gomez. Though no official confirmation followed and no clear close-up existed to settle the question, the resemblance alone, combined with timing and posture, was enough to ignite a wave of reactions that quickly transformed a simple concert clip into a layered narrative that extended far beyond the stage itself. Because at the center of it all was Justin Bieber, fully immersed in his performance, delivering a set that leaned heavily into nostalgia, revisiting songs that had defined earlier moments in his career, drawing strong emotional responses from a crowd already charged with anticipation. And as he moved through tracks like Baby and With You, the atmosphere reportedly shifted into something more reflective, as fans connected those songs not just to the artist on stage, but to a specific era in his life, one closely associated with Selena Gomez, making the possibility of her presence in that same space feel almost cinematic, as though past and present had briefly intersected in real time. And as the clip continued to circulate, viewers began dissecting every frame, pointing out subtle details such as the silhouette, the angle of the head, the way the figure appeared to react during a particular note, while others remained cautious, arguing that the lighting, distance, and overall quality of the footage made it impossible to confirm anything with certainty. Yet the uncertainty itself only added to the intrigue, allowing the story to grow in multiple directions at once, as fans filled in the gaps with their own interpretations, turning a few seconds of video into a narrative that felt both personal and universal. And if you are enjoying stories like this, subscribe for more quick updates, because what made this moment stand out was not simply the question of identity, but the emotional weight attached to the possibility, as Selena Gomez has largely maintained distance from anything publicly linked to Justin Bieber in recent years, with both individuals moving forward into different phases of their lives, building paths that no longer visibly intersect. So the idea that she might have been present, quietly observing from within a crowd, added a layer of depth that resonated with many viewers, suggesting not drama or confrontation, but something far more subtle, a moment of quiet acknowledgement, or perhaps even simple curiosity, as one person watched another revisit a chapter of life that they once shared. And in the clip itself, the figure believed to be Selena appeared calm and composed, without any dramatic gestures or attempts to draw attention, which only reinforced the sense that this was not about rekindling anything or creating a scene, but rather about witnessing, about being present in a moment that held personal significance, even if only for a few seconds. And as discussions continued online, the conversation began to shift away from trying to prove whether it was truly her, and instead focused on the meaning people attached to the possibility, because in many ways, the story people were telling extended beyond the individuals involved, touching on ideas of memory, timing, and the way past connections can resurface unexpectedly, especially in environments charged with emotion, like a live performance that revisits defining moments from an artist's career. And Justin Bieber's set itself played a major role in fueling that narrative, as several attendees described an emotional intensity in certain songs, a quality that felt deeper than a standard performance. Though whether that was intentional or simply a reflection of the energy in the crowd remained unclear, but when paired with the circulating clip, it created a sequence of events that felt almost too perfectly aligned to ignore, as though multiple layers of story had converged at once. One unfolding on stage, the other unfolding within the audience, both connected by a shared history that continued to capture public attention. And as more people engaged with the clip, reactions became increasingly detailed, with some fans expressing certainty that it was Selena, while others emphasized the risk of misidentification, pointing out that festivals like Coachella are filled with individuals who, under certain lighting conditions, can resemble well-known figures, and that the setting itself encourages this kind of speculation, where glimpses and assumptions often blend together, creating narratives that feel convincing even without solid evidence. Yet even those who doubted the identification acknowledged that the moment had taken on a life of its own, because what people were responding to was not just the visual evidence, but the story it suggested, a story about two individuals who once shared a significant connection, now existing in the same environment without direct interaction, surrounded by thousands of people, yet linked by a past that continues to resonate. And just before we go further, make sure to subscribe for more moments like this, because as the festival continued, this particular clip remained a focal point of conversation, demonstrating how quickly a small detail can evolve into a widely discussed narrative when it aligns with existing public interest. And interestingly, neither Justin Bieber nor Selena Gomez addressed the situation, with no statements released and no indirect references appearing on social media, a silence that many interpreted as intentional, especially in a time when even minor moments are often clarified almost immediately. Yet in this case, the lack of confirmation seemed to enhance the story rather than diminish it, allowing it to remain open-ended, inviting continued discussion and interpretation. And as new performances and highlights from Coachella 2026 began to emerge, gradually shifting attention elsewhere, this clip maintained its presence in the broader narrative of the event because it offered something different, something that extended beyond music and spectacle, tapping into a more reflective space where viewers could project their own experiences and emotions, relating to the idea of encountering something from the past in an unexpected context. And as people continued to revisit the footage, analyzing it frame by frame, the moment itself became less about verifying a fact and more about exploring a feeling, one that lingered long after the initial excitement had passed, reinforcing the idea that certain stories do not require clear answers to have impact, and that sometimes the most compelling moments are the ones that remain unresolved, existing in a space between reality and interpretation, where each viewer can draw their own conclusions. And as the weekend progressed, the clip stood as a reminder of how quickly a narrative can form, how a few seconds of footage can spark widespread attention, and how the combination of timing, context, and public interest can transform an ordinary moment into something far more significant. And if you made it this far, subscribe for more quick stories, because whether or not Selena Gomez was truly present in that crowd, the story that emerged from the possibility had already secured its place as one of the defining talking points of Coachella 2026, illustrating the enduring fascination with connections that continue to echo even as lives move forward, and highlighting the way audiences engage not just with what they see, but with what they believe they see, constructing narratives that blend memory emotion, and imagination into a single moment that continues to unfold long after the music fades.